Or is this full-time MMA now?
I love full-time MMA right now.
Full-time MMA?
MMA.
Nothing
Yeah.
else?
My life, man, yeah.
Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, because you know what time it is. It's full-time
MMA.
And holy flying flippin' flapjacks, Curtis Blaydes destroyed Alistair Overeem with a third-round TKO at the main event of the UFC 225 Fox Sports prelims. This was another dominant performance by Curtis Blaydes, who was just coming off of a dominant grappling performance over Mark Hunt in his last fight. Now, it wasn't the most entertaining performance. He probably didn't win a lot of fans in his first and second round. Hell, even his decision-making in the third round probably, turned some fans off. But once he got that finish, it was brutal enough to make you forget for a second. But this is what sticks out to me in the third round. I mean, Curtis Blaydes is, I believe, a Division I or Division II level wrestler. Like, he's a really high-level wrestler coming over to the heavyweight division. Very young, talented, 27 years old. I believe Curtis Blaydes young in the game as a heavyweight. And very talented wrestler. And if you've got a solid wrestling base in your back pocket, that's going to help you a lot in any division. And so he took on Mark Hunt in his last fight. Might have got clipped a little bit, but he was able to score 10 takedowns on Mark Hunt and win a dominant unanimous decision. In this fight here, he was able to score multiple takedowns on Alistair Overeem. Alistair Overeem is one of the most experienced strikers Curtis Blaydes or anyone can face in the UFC, as Alistair Overeem, one of the most experienced UFC fighters, just in mixed martial arts fighters as well, though. So, I mean, he's definitely no slouch, Alistair Overeem, but his striking pedigree is unmatched. He's former K1 champion, Strikeforce, never got the UFC gold, got really close, lost to Stipe Miocic, but he fell to tap. So he was really close to winning the gold if the tap would have actually materialized, but it didn't. Stipe Miocic beat him in the title fight. But now Alistair Overeem was coming in here off of a loss, that nasty uppercut from Wakanda from Francis Ngannou, pretty brutal KO loss. But he made it to the third round here against Curtis Blaydes, and this is what sticks out to me in the fight. The third round, there was a point where Curtis Blaydes connected with Alistair Overeem and might have had him hurt back to the fence. Alistair Overeem, had his back to the fence, and Curtis Blaydes just started teeing off on him, left, right, left, right. Alistair Overeem looked like he didn't have much of a defense left. Like Curtis Blaydes could have potentially finished the fight there standing, but after four lefts and four rights, he shot for a takedown, realizing, okay, now Alistair's defending high, let me shoot for a takedown. So instead of trying to finish the fight right there, he took Alistair Overeem down, which slowed the momentum down, and it took it from the fight potentially being over to, okay, now you're grinding him out, and it's like, oh, back to this position. But Curtis Blaydes was able, shortly after, to land some nasty, and I mean nasty, elbows over the top on Alistair Overeem, and busted his face up real good. I mean, his face wasn't messed up or bleeding or anything like before this moment, but after 4 or 5 elbows from Curtis Razor Blaydes, that shit looked like a horror movie in there for Alistair Overeem, low-key. I mean, it just, he was just busted up from that one exchange of elbows over the top from Curtis Blaydes. Some fucking nasty ground and pound Curtis Blaydes showed. So, with that being said, Curtis Blaydes showed he's a fucking real threat in the division. And also, there's not going to be no exposing of Curtis Blaydes. If you're expecting that, keep your eye on Curtis Blaydes. He's not going to get exposed in his wrestling or cardio. I was listening to Dana White's post-fight media scrum, and a media member asked him, can you think of any heavyweights that have kind of like rose up to the rankings as fast as Curtis Blaydes? Dana was like, no, not off the top of my head. I mean, maybe Francis Ngannou. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, but if you're comparing Curtis Blaydes to Francis Ngannou, let it be because the way he rose up through the rankings, and not because you think he's a guy that's going to get exposed somehow. Because Curtis Blaydes is a very well-rounded fighter as far as his wrestling is concerned. Maybe he can work a little bit with his striking, but you got to take into consideration he's probably a decent striker, but he's been in there with fucking Mark Hunt and Alistair Overeem, two of the most experienced and decorated strikers in the UFC's heavyweight division. So he's fighting smart, using his advantage, his wrestling, and he's still getting dominant wins. So keep your eye on Curtis Blaydes. I know I got my eye on Curtis Blaydes. I think he's a legit threat of future heavyweight title challenger for sure. We'll see what's next for Curtis Blaydes. Actually, I think after we do all of these post-fight analysis, we'll probably go live and talk about what's next for the winners and losers of UFC 225. So with that being said, man, thanks for checking out this video. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comment. And as always, thanks for checking out this video. If you're new, or if you're just slacking on your pimping, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell next to it so you're notified every time I upload a video. And if you want to help support this independent channel, you can either click the PayPal button in the description, or you can go to patreon.com/fulltimemma and consider becoming a patron. I'm out.
This is #1 bullshit.